guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're watching Fullmetal Alchemist, Brotherhood. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're watching episode 57 of Fullmetal Alchemist, Brotherhood, and we are getting so close to the end, and I'm so sad about it. But in this case, I feel like the story that we have gotten and the character building that we've gotten and just everything about this is that it's kind of like, and I know animation, you compare things, but like it feels like Avatar, where we had all of our storylines and we had all this character building and we're getting closer and closer and closer to the end, where I feel like it is all coming together, and I love a complete story. Anything hanging out there, I don't like that. And I feel like we're tying bows on a lot of things and wrapping a lot of stuff up, and we're getting everybody to the same place, or at least in the same general area. So all of our characters will have something complete. And I'm excited, but sometimes, a completion of a story does not mean they lived happily ever after. And that's the part that I'm the most concerned about, is what happens with the characters that I care about and that I know and that I love, and like what happens to the ones that I don't know and love that much. I'm still wondering like how we could still have Bradley and Salim and Greed still be in existence without Father, and like they're still like working with Philosopher Stones inside of them. Bradley only has the one soul, but still, it is a soul that wasn't his, maybe. As far as I know, that is a soul that was not there previous, unless it was already in Bradley to begin with. If that's the case, then Bradley just gets to live on. Maybe, I don't know. He's aging, so like, I'm not sure if we can keep any of these characters, if they can be redeemed, if they can change. But also, like with Ling being inside of Greed, like, you can't have the Philosopher's Stone and use the other lives of other beings to continue on and live in immortality. And especially because we got Fu at the end of the last episode, and him saying like, because they never really explained it before, but that they could just sense that there was something off about a homunculus. And he's like, I can sense that. What does he say? That rancid, I know they called it rancid chi, but I think maybe he called it rotten chi. And just kind of like it's radiating off the prince's body, but it did help me find you. So like there's like it obviously there's no good that can come out of a Philosopher's Stone. So even if you could live in immortality like Greed/Ling, would you want to? Could you? Like, and especially like knowing that Hohenheim heard all of the voices of all the souls, and there's like 500,036 or 536,326 or something like that. Like there was like a very specific number, and he spent time with each and every one of them, listening to them and got to know them. But then he was able to transfer that into Father. Like now those souls are in Father, the ones that he knew their names and wanted vengeance against Father for what he did. And, Father sheds the skin of Hohenheim, or just not even of Hohenheim, just the duplicate that he was. And, now he's like this dark mass, and he's like, you're not the only one who's evolved. And those souls are still in him, though. Like, that's not just like, they weren't just in the casing, so like they're still in there, but it's dark and it's devious. And what's really interesting is that he has the mouth of gluttony. And I'm really wondering, because like Hohenheim talking about the sins, and then like, seeing Envy be very jealous of the human experience and can't really understand, love and empathy and compassion, and how they could have that for each other, and how he was so jealous of that. And it's just like, I don't know if them dying, I don't think that those like feelings and sins are returned to Father necessarily, but I think him feeling those things is why he created them, is because he didn't want to experience those things because it was too human, it was too much. And knowing that he's not human, that he is a homunculus, like I wonder if there's any of those feelings that we felt the other homunculus feel that are still within Father. And, his evolution is to become a perfect being. And is that a perfect being that doesn't have those sins, that doesn't feel those things, because they're seen as negative, even though, like they're not completely negative. It was really interesting to watch Sloth die, and him like not experiencing, like not wanting to experience pain in living and pain in death, and just kind of be, and like knowing that he could be fast, but he chooses not to be because he's lazy. And like, that's like that sin, like a lot of the times when you have those in you, like there's times when I feel completely lazy. And then there's other times that I'm incredibly motivated. And it's just like, as long as you don't live as a sin and like in that sin, and that's all you are, and that's your entire personality, then, like having the mix of everything, good and bad, is what makes you a whole human. And I don't know if Other wanted to get rid of that because he didn't want to feel like a full human. He didn't want those things that were inside of him that caused him to be as human as possible. So I found that rather interesting. So now we have Skinless Father and Hohenheim kind of having a duel and a face-off, which I was really excited about. And then also Fu has shown up to fight alongside of Greedling against Bradley. We got Buccaneer, who's been run through, chopped up, like his arm cut off, all that. And he is still finding that grit within himself to keep the fight. And now I can 100% see why Briggs is who they are, because that is crazy. And I thought for sure, like 4 different times that we were done with Buccaneer, I was like, oh no, this is going to upset Olivier so much. And this is exactly who she built. Like the Briggs soldiers, she built that brick by brick by brick by brick to get the strongest possible force possible. And it's insane. And Fallman, was trying to find the courage within himself. And he was even like, I'm going to die. And Buccaneer's like, you know what? You're not going out like that. Like, you're not going out crying like a coward, which I don't think crying makes you a coward. I think maybe Buccaneer might think that, but like that's not necessarily true. Him being scared doesn't make him a coward. Him facing it and moving forward is what makes him brave. If he were to retreat, then he's a coward. But that's not what Fallman was going to do. Fallman was ready to give his life when Fu showed up. So I was kind of like thinking like, okay, if Buccaneer and Greed both can't fight Bradley and make a dent, and then Fu shows up and he even can't, I'm like, who can? And I don't know if it's Ed, I don't know if it's Al, I don't know if it's Hohenheim, if it's Scar, if it's May, if it's all of them. I don't know how we really defeat Bradley, because it seems like he is kind of unbeatable. And it's crazy how fast he is with not only a sword, but with the knives. And it's very impressive. And I love seeing it. And I'm glad that he's back. I'm glad that he was gone for a while, because you kind of like forget about like his presence and his strength, and like how people rally behind him because he is such a strong leader, and like what he represents. And it's wild to like all of a sudden get it back and just go like, oh yeah, shoot. Like, he is really hard to beat, and all of these soldiers are going to rally behind him. And then you see like the other soldiers, like, we're going to have to throw Briggs under the bus here because like, we decided that we were going to side with Bradley thinking that he was dead. And now they kind of have to stay in it. And I do think that Olivier might not be happy about her soldiers being sacrificed, but I think she might actually respect the move from those soldiers by sticking behind Roy, because like that's what she would expect her soldiers to do. So I'm not sure how that's going to go, but I do think that Armstrong and Olivier fighting side by side is definitely, I would want to be behind them the entire way. I love it. We haven't really seen much from, well, we saw a little bit from Ed when Envy sacrificed themselves out of their jealousy and could no longer go on in this world. And like I said, it wasn't a satisfying death. Sloth wasn't a satisfying death. Like they haven't been, because like you can actually see like that even though it's one part of them being human, it's like you can see how they like lived in that, and like how sad it was that they actually never really lived. So I'm trying to steel myself up for caring about Salim and Pride, because I don't. That is a dark MFer, and I think that they're still going to find a way to give him a character arc and an evolution that's going to make me actually feel something sad for them. And now Mrs. Bradley knows that Fur Bradley is alive. He is now taking control of the troops. So there's a lot. There's a lot. Like, they were declaring victory and it was way too soon, and I knew it was too soon. So where we go from here, we saw Ed or no, we saw Al and Marco and Yoki and Hinkle kind of trying to get the car out of like a hole. So they're still outside of the gates with the rest of the soldiers. I feel like we're going to see some action there. I don't know where Roy and Ed are. I would love to see Ed and Al reunited, like outside before they like have to face Father or Hohenheim. If they need to interject in that, May is still on her way to Father and Hohenheim with the rest of the Chimeras. So there's so many loose ends that we have to tie up here. And I don't know where Lan Fan is, but wherever the prince is, Lan Fan isn't far behind. So I am ready to get into these episodes. So guys, let's go. Oh. Sometimes some of the stuff that's in these openings I don't understand until they show some images. Roy falling into a tunnel. It looked like a tunnel of darkness. But then also it looked like Father with like bared teeth. And then I noticed Bradley crying, but then I didn't notice Scar in that scene until just now. Okay, it's Fu. Or Lan Fan. Lan Fan? Lan Fan.
Let's rally the remaining troops. We're gonna retake Central Command!
Or she's going to head towards Bradley.
At the main gate?
Come on, girl. Let's go get it. What's with the shake?
So now I know what the bastard who took my granddaughter's arm looks
It's
like.
anger. Calm yourself. Eternal leave. What does that mean? That doesn't sound good.
You sacrifice our country.
Ooh.
Just so you officials can gain immortality and enslave the world as your own?
Oh, I love those two standing side by side, though.
We wouldn't be murdering the population like you said. They would be given eternal life while dwelling inside us.
Oh, that's
Don't
awful.
you see we would bring the world together as one? All as one, and one as all.
Oh,
as the
yeah,
few chosen
Azumi.
ones of Amestris, we will bring unity to the entire country.
Kill him. Or slap him really hard. Shut up, bitch.
Now wait, listen, men. You need to follow orders.
No.
That's the only way I can put in a good word.
Oh,
for you.
no. Whoa! Chonkla slap. Ha
How can you follow a superior you have no faith in?
There you
That is
go.
not loyalty. That's mindless self-deception.
Believe in
She
yourselves.
got a point.
And choose life over death. Otherwise, you've led a shameful existence.
Oh my god, these women. Ah, I love it. Get rid of Edison. Not kill him, put him in a hole. Ooh. Yeah, they're not helping you get an immortal life.
Consider this our retirement.
Proud of you, boys. Now we just have to get everybody else.
Then we should hurry.
Oh, downstairs. Yep,
We get
forgot
down
about
far
that.
enough, I can easily dig us an escape tunnel to the streets.
Escape, huh?
Yeah, no, they're going to a fight. I mean, what are they going to do if they meet Father in Hohenheim? You know, not much. Maybe Azumi, but no one else. Who? So the guy with the gold tooth?
I wasn't exactly
It says gold
expecting to
tooth.
have an audience. You're gonna give me performance anxiety.
I hate him. I hate him so much.
I can't tell you how much trouble you've saved me, Colonel Mustang.
Oh, boy. Oh, wait, who are they? I thought they were chimeras at first, but, like, are they part of the Immortal Legion?
No, they move too deliberately.
Immortal
It's
Legion?
not just on instinct.
These men were at one time the other candidates to become King Bradley.
They survived? Oh, my God.
After years of training, they're skilled warriors in their own right.
Wow.
They may not be as powerful as Bradley himself, but they are strong.
They're creepy as shit, just like you. I thought we just had Bradley to worry about. Now we have 11 others that are kind of almost like him.
What a stupid time to go passing out.
Well, you've been through a lot.
Forgot about this.
Should
I
you
better
pull that
keep
out?
it in or I'll just bleed to death.
That's what I was just thinking. I mean, I wouldn't even want to move with it in there.
Incoming!
Where's Lon Fun?
Cheap son of a bitch.
I don't know about cheap, but he's good. Oh no. Lon Fun!
Certainly makes a difference when you have a weapon you're more comfortable with.
Oh god. Oh god.
It's impressive how quickly you move.
Please don't
You're
kill
even
Fu.
older than I am. However, this is as old as you're going to get.
Oh god!
Well, if it isn't the young prince.
Yeah. Come on.
Ask me before you take over.
No.
I can't help but recall the last time we fought when I took that girl's arm. It seems that once again you'd rather risk your own life than give up on something.
She's coming, sir. She's coming.
You must be able to accept some loss.
You need to rest, please!
Oh god. Not Fu.
Time for this old man to find rest.
Not like that, though. Oh, what are you doing?
Your shield greed protect the young lord's body. Become the king you're meant to be. This old servant has no choice but to offer his retirement. I'm taking you straight to hell with me, Bradley.
I don't know.
Bastard!
He cut the wicks. Oh god.
Even while sacrificing myself, I still couldn't lay a single scratch on him. Young lord, please forgive
You tried.
my shameful death.
Shameful.
That philosopher's stone might have given you the eyes of a god, but even you can't dodge an attack if you can't see it coming.
Oh. Wow.
Maybe you are going to hell, but you aren't going alone. I'll keep you company on the ride down.
Oh, you have my gratitude. Thank you.
I don't want We're bugging here to die. Not fun. I'm so sorry.
Fullmetal Alchemist.
Gold Tooth Doctor is creepy as hell. I can't get these out. Oh god. Yoki, what did you do? Oh my god. Oh, I forgot about this happening. I was like, that's fine. He's walking in a hallway. No, he's fighting the other Bradleys. Come on, Scar. Come on, Scar. Okay, Roy. Fisticuffs. I thought for sure it'd be flames. Nice. Well. Oh. Dope. Dope.
You keep leaving your back wide open, sir.
I gotta give you something to do.
Get it together, Roy. What is he drawing? This is creepy. Why are his eyes going in different directions?
When a homunculus invaded Fort Briggs, Edward blatantly refused my orders to tell me what he knew about it. And I had not yet been made aware that the enemy had been holding the life of his childhood friend hostage. He just kept repeating, I can't answer that. A boy willing to pay any price to protect the things he loved.
Ed always did have a knack for being stubborn.
I'd be lying if I were to tell you that I wasn't moved when I looked into his eyes.
I love this conversation. Oh my god.
I only hope that he can help lead us out of this fight without his naivete burying us.
His naivete is probably the best thing about him.
What's he doing?
Something bad.
Now then, here goes!
What is it? What is he doing? It's kind of like making a philosopher's stone, but I don't think that's what's happening.
Do you know how many military-operated alchemy laboratories there are here in Central?
Yeah.
The fifth laboratory. It's a transmutation circle. The entire city.
Yeah, we put that together after the first episode.
Laboratories into a circle?
Oh. I was wondering what the squiggly lines were down the hallway. Okay, but does this have to happen during the eclipse? Like, what is the game plan with having Gold-Tooth Doctor do this? Are you okay? What's happening? Come on, Hinkle, what's going on? Oh, the animals are freaking out. That's not a good sign.
We're far enough down to dig an escape tunnel.
Then it's time to part ways. We're staying. We can't turn our backs on this fight now.
Yep, that's so Olivier of her.
Thanks for your help, Azumi Curtis.
Good luck, General Armstrong.
Okay. This isn't the beginning of opening a new portal, right? It is. Oh! Oh, they can just find the sacrifices?
What?
Oh! Oh!
Alphonse! Izumi! Izumi, no! No! Fullmetal!
Oh, Roy.
You bastard!
I know there's nothing after this, but I'm not ready to stop it and talk yet. I have to think about what I just watched. Okay. All right. What was that? Heartbreaking. For sure, Fu is gone. What a sacrifice that he made. Bradley's just unbeatable. I mean, obviously somebody needs to beat him, but I mean, the fact that both Fu, Ling, and Buccaneer, like, it took Buccaneer, like, knowing that he had to sacrifice Fu maybe a fraction of a couple seconds, you know, quicker than Fu was going to die anyways, to, you know, kind of, the only way to get one on Bradley is to, you know, really catch a blind spot. And, like, obviously him having a patch over his eye, it didn't really, like, that eye still works. I mean, he's still got a vision. He can still move so incredibly fast. And you know, then we saw all of the, I want to say discarded Bradleys, the extras that they had lying around that didn't make the cut, literally. And like them fighting, you know, like they were hard to beat too. Like Ed was having a hard time. Scar couldn't land a blow. Thankfully, Hawkeye, you know, like she was landing shots left and right, but like they, like the one guy like went in front of Gold-Tooth Doctor, who's creepy as hell. I mean, already like the smile with the gold tooth is kind of creepy, but then the eyes pointing in different directions, like something's off, obviously. Why is he able to open up a portal of truth? It took the sacrifices, obviously the 3 sacrifices of Ed, Al, and Izumi, but it also sacrificed the extra Bradleys. I know they're not Bradleys, but I'm just calling them that. It sacrificed them to create the transmutation circle, to take Ed, Al, and Izumi, and it just found them anywhere. So even if she had created a tunnel and was trying to escape, it would have found her as long as she was inside the transmutation circle, which was the 5th laboratory, which I think we had already kind of put that together, that the city was a transmutation circle in the very first episode, with the, was it the Ice Alchemist? I forget his actual name. It's been so long, but Like, we already saw him kind of do that in the city. Now, it wasn't with the laboratories, and every time they said the 5th laboratory, I definitely thought about the 5 circles that were on there, but I was kind of like, there might be a 20th. I have no idea. But that's crazy. Now, what's happening to them? It's heartbreaking. Because obviously, you know, one, they're tore away from the people that they were with. Even Scar was like, oh my God, you know, Marco, you know, like saying Alphonse, and then they were just like stunned. And, you know, Olivier holding onto Azumi's hand. And like that friendship, you know, if they just sat down and had some tea and like, we're talking shit about people, I would love to be in the room. That is a wine night I'd love to be invited to. Yeah, that friendship or that kinship, that bond, relationship, respect that they have for each other was absolutely wonderful and delightful in the way that they were speaking to each other. You know, Olivier isn't quite as liberal with her thoughts and her feelings. And like saying the thing about like Edward and it being something other than like a dutiful soldier or, you know, someone who suffered extreme loss is that like he's kind of both of those things, but like he wanted to stop people from dying. And that's kind of what Fu also said to Greedling was like, you know, in order to be a king, in order to be a true leader, like you have to be willing to like lose. But like, you know, Ling very much was saying like he doesn't want to lose people. And I just like find it really interesting that was kind of the thing that we were also saying about Ed, and like they think that he's naive, but like his naivety is what gives him hope. And there's so many people that get like beaten down and like they're not hopeful and they're not positive, or you know, they're not willing to take risks and chances because they've gone through so many things that it's led them to believe that like the result isn't going to be good or that they're not going to be able to make it through it. And I think with Ed and Al kind of being naive, that helps them to have that bravery and that hope and like that, like being willing to make a sacrifice or not be willing to make a sacrifice. It's just, this one hit hard. I'm actually kind of tired. Hearing like Ling and Greed, you know, Greed saying like, you know, tell me that you're going to take over. And I'm like, there was no time. But, you know, like Ling, like fully taking over Greed because he wanted to help Fu. Like he was so heartbroken about Fu. And like, he like, you know, he shows that he loves that man and that he cares for him. And I think he cares for everybody from his kingdom. Lanfan, I totally expect to go full send on Bradley, but I don't even know if Lanfan's enough to, you know, do anything to Bradley. I mean, we got the one blow. Buccaneer was able to like, you know, run him through with his own sword. I don't know if Buccaneer's necessarily dead, but like, I even was thinking to myself, like, don't take the sword out because you're going to bleed to death. And, you know, he took the sword out and he was able to land a blow on Bradley at least. And, you know, we saw that Bradley, like, when he's talking, I think it was the previous episode, when he's talking about the train blowing up and how, you know, like it's like kind of hard on old bodies and like, you know, his like neck and everything. So it's just like, he's not going to be able to bounce back from it the same way that we've seen other homunculus bounce back, where they just regenerate from the Philosopher's Stone because they're using a soul to do that. He doesn't do that. So like, he's going to feel that and it's going to affect him. Curious. I mean, even an injured Bradley, a little bit of an injury on Bradley is enough to help give Lanfan an edge or anybody else an edge. Now, what we do now that Goldtooth Doctor has now taken at least 3 sacrifices, we were hoping, Father was hoping Hohenheim would be the 4th. And then the 5th, I would assume, was going to be Roy. And actually, in the beginning, when I saw him falling down the tunnel, I was like, was that the tunnel of truth? And I also didn't see Scar throwing his coat with Bradley in the distance. I didn't notice that. I noticed Bradley like with a tear rolling down his face in the rain, but I didn't notice that he was in the same shot with Scar. I just saw Scar throwing his coat. So I don't know if there's like a duel we're going to see between those two or not. I know that stuff is kind of like just for fun. It's not necessarily things that are going to happen in the series. But like sometimes I do think it alludes to certain things. Like all like the red and like seeing all the sins and everything, and then like Father's head turning. Like I don't know if that's them meeting their end or not. I don't know. it showed the transmutation circle coming up out of the earth, and like there was like clouds and stuff like that, which I like saw at the end of this one. So like there's like things that sometimes when I see them, I'm just like, hey, like we didn't see Father in this one, but I saw like a monster with teeth. And I thought that that was greed. And now I'm like, wait, that could actually be Father. Maybe. But I do expect Lan Fan to kind of go full send. Not only seeing her grandfather, but protecting Ling. Some of the soldiers, you know, taking off their pins after realizing like they were actually just sacrifices. And, you know, thinking that you can take any sort of society and remake them or have them reborn inside of you. You'll live on inside of me. No, thank you. That's still death. Like, you're not asking for permission. You're just doing it. Them learning that Bradley he was made, that he's a homunculus. They didn't use the word homunculus, but like, it was just like, oh, Bradley was made to do this. I think if they could spread the word, that'd be great. I thought we were going to see Al fight some of the soldiers outside, but here we are. Maybe Marco will. I am excited to get into the next episode because I didn't expect to cry in this one. I didn't expect to lose Fu. Maybe I did a little bit, but like, I thought it would be a grander fight, and he didn't lay down any blows. Like, even when he was going to blow himself up, Bradley just cuts the wick. Like, damn, Bradley is terrifying. I love it. And Pride's still out there somewhere. Winry is doing her thing elsewhere as well. Like, I don't think she's going to show up in Central necessarily, but I think her being in Resin Bowl is like going to be the thing that like really motivates Ed to try to get out of that portal. I think he's in the portal. I didn't see the eye. Oh yeah, no. They were standing on the eyes. The Eye of Truth took them. But I don't know if the Eye of Truth will take them and put them where Father and Hohenheim are. If they need them in specific spots there. They didn't take Roy, so I don't really know who the last... Could be Ling. I don't know. I mean, I guess it wouldn't be Greed. I mean, the only one that makes sense would be Roy, but I'm just trying to think of like who's a great alchemist that has a lot of power and who I think they probably said at some point would be a sacrifice. And I'm trying to remember if it was Roy. I feel like it was. I'm not coming up with that on my own. I really think that information was said out loud. But guys, if you want to watch full length reaction to this episode, it will be available on my Patreon and up to 3 episodes early. But in the meantime, like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Did you cry about Fu? I cried about Fu. You saw me cry about Fu. But like, Fu and Buccaneer, what a loss. What a loss. And you know, that sacrifice, the willingness to give your life for the cause, to save somebody else, to try to do something to make the opposition weaker, is just phenomenal. And that's good of a soldier, and that's good of a human. And you know, like that's kind of the same sides of like Azumi and Olivier, you know, talking about like that Azumi made a sacrifice of her own body, and Olivier, you know, while she is like, they're dead and gone, there's no reason to mourn them, but like to save people from, you know, from more people dying is just great writing on this show. Great writing on this show. I can't wait to get in this next episode, which you have to wait for, but I'm going to go watch it right now. So guys, come back here for that. And in the meantime, I'll see ya. I don't know why I just moved that. Anyway, bye.